Okay, the video has, yes, we are recording.
Thank you. So, good night, everyone. I want to welcome you to the Youth and Education Committee meeting. The time is now 7. My name is Gail Grandison, and I am the chairperson of the Youth and Education, and I officially call this meeting to order. I am going to ask everyone, as I do every month, to go around the room and introduce yourself. I know we usually have a lot of new people every week. Every month. This is why I continuously do this, so we know who's in the room. And also, most cameras are off. So I'm going to start with Miss Monica McCain Brown. Please give your name, if you're a committee member or board member or both.
Good evening, Ms. Grandison, and to the rest on the meeting this evening. My name is Monica McCain Brown, and I'm a committee member.
Good evening. Thank you. Edith Mark. Miss Mark, are you there? Okay. Next, Mr. Tate, George Tate.
Good evening, everyone. My name is George Tate. I'm a committee member.
Thank you, Mr. Tate. Good to see you. Didn't see you last night.
No, I had some other personal issues, and
Okay.
that I had to take precedent over that. Because I signed
Oh,
up and I intended to go, but I had to take care of some other business.
okay. That's fine. I'm seeing a Z Santana.
Hi, my name is Aline Santana. I work in higher education. I'm not a member of a committee or a board, so I'm just here to kind of like see what you guys are about.
Okay, cool. Well, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Miss Saunders.
Good evening, everyone. Cheryl Saunders, and I'm a committee member.
Thank you. Let's see. Oops. Can't see the name. Well, Kathy Guy, please.
Well, nice try. Good evening, all. My name is Kathy Gay. It's a Senegalese name,
Gay.
so we have a French
Okay.
pronunciation. So I just want to thank you guys for having us tonight. I'm from Bridging Access to Care. I'm a site director, and the site is Flatbush Gardens, formerly known as Vanderveer. And I have 2 programs running out of there. So thank you so much for having us.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for the correction of your name. I assume you're here with Miss Bilal. Who is next? Please introduce yourself, Miss Bilal.
Amanda Bilal from Bridging Access to Care, and I'm the Community Development Specialist, and happy to be here as always.
Thank you. And we will hear from Miss Bilal shortly and her colleague. Let's see. Okay, there is a number ending in 78. Can you please identify yourself?
Hi, my name is Bianca Signes.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Bianca Signes.
Oh, Bianca. Hi, Miss Bianca. Go ahead.
General member, nonprofit organizer, and licensed social worker.
Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, I'm seeing SM Walls.
Simone Monet Walls, General Member, Education Administrator and Consultant.
Are you a member of the committee or the board, Ms. Walls?
Member of the committee.
of the committee.
General member.
General member. Yes, there you are. Mr. Morris.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. How are you doing today?
Good. Can you just state whether you board member, committee member, or both, please?
Both committee and board member, Jabril Morris.
Thank
Hello.
you. Welcome. Let's see. Did I miss anyone? I'm going up and down. Okay. All right.
Oh,
So I
Miss
think
Mark,
I
I'm here. I don't think I
Oh,
heard you
Miss
earlier.
Mark. Yes. Sorry, I was calling you before, and I
Yeah,
figured you
when my
probably stepped
earpiece.
away.
Yeah, but I'm here. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you,
Bye.
Miss
Mhm.
Mark.
Okay.
My name is Melissa Judd. I'm an executive director of REAL, and I am here to also either get involved or become a member or become part of the committee if it's available.
Oh, hi, Miss Judd. I'm sorry. It's like your name wasn't there and then it appeared. Sometimes my computer my laptop does some weird stuff. So thank you for being here, Miss Judd.
Thank you.
And this is your first time coming to our committee meeting?
It is.
Okay, well, welcome. Welcome
Thank
and thank you so much. Okay, so moving on. Sorry, I'm working with 3 screens here. So right now we're going to move. Miss Farah, did you send the minutes from the last meeting?
I meant to send the minutes for the last meeting, but I saw that in my reminder it didn't attach. And it's currently on
Okay.
my work computer. So I'm sorry, but it will be available next month's meeting.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to move to the chairperson's report. And a few things. So first I want to start off with on Saturday, last Saturday, I attended a town hall at which was held by CB9. It was around education. I am going to share the link with you so you can watch it. So let me just give you a brief overview before I drop the link. It was like, it was based on Let's Talk About Education. It was a panel. There were several panel guests, and it was held at Clara Barton High School, which is on Classen Avenue. And, you know, the panelists we had the chair of the education committee for the city council, chair of the city council education. And we all know Rita Joseph, she was there. Erica Kendall, who's the president of CEC 17. Marlon Ellis, a teacher at Clara Barton High School. Sheenan Lindsay, who is the superintendent of District 17. Nadine Lewis Knight, she's a teacher at Ebbetsville Middle School. And Alfonso Cibro, a producer, author, educator. He was the moderator. And during this panel, there was about 5 questions that each panelist was asked. I did not stay. It was supposed to be from 12 to 2, but it started late. So I did not stay for the entire event because I had to leave. So it started a little after 12:30. And I left like maybe 10 to 2 or so. So some of the questions were like asking the panelists was like challenges that impact District 17. And, you know, a lot of that, the answers was around funding, you know, in the schools, of course. that is always one of the biggest things, issues. And, you know, some folks spoke about post-COVID, decrease in funding. There was I think this was from the superintendent, the enrollment increased across District 17, about 2,500 kids. You know, and this was migrant kids coming in, and that they didn't have enough support, especially ELA students, you know, didn't have enough teachers, and that these families also needed jobs. There was also a question around like emotional support for kids. How do you support kids? And, you know, once again, it was about funding not available for supports, you know, social workers in the schools, those sort of things. And, you know, another one that was really interesting was about the engagement on devices and the safety concerns around, you know, kids with their phones and laptops or tablets, that sort of thing. What was really interesting was that one of the panelists said that DOE gives kids, you know, the iPads, but somehow the iPads, the kids are able to download games. So sometimes what I guess some teachers are seeing within the class is like the kids would download, they have the iPads, they'll download the games, and instead of really paying attention, they'll be playing the games on the iPads and stuff. So it's like a catch-22 with it, you know. And then there were questions like around how do they engage students, you know, in the different spaces in terms of where the panelists are sitting. So it was a very interesting conversation. I going to drop the link in the chat to the YouTube video. I encourage you guys to watch it. And, you know, it's very interesting. I didn't get to stay, but I would love that, you know, somehow, some way to maybe do some kind of collaboration with CB9, you know, if they have another town hall like this. And the reason why I said that, because I think it was, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, my screen froze, so I wasn't sure. Is that there were not a lot of folks there, right? It was in the auditorium and it was empty. And I thought that this was such a great moment and time for, you know, parents to come out to hear, maybe ask some questions. Not sure if they allow questions from the audience after, but maybe engage with some of these folks, you know, around their kids and what's happening in the schools and stuff. And, you know, this is one of the reasons why I don't try to do town halls, because I always, and I mean, we've done this before. We've done town halls before, but just getting folks to come out, you know, it always creates a little bit of a problem. But maybe next year it's something that we think about more strategically. And as I said, maybe it's something that I go to CB9 and say, let's do this together, because the two districts are so close together, you know, so who knows. Summer youth employment. So the summer youth employment the application process have ended, but and the deadline was 3/14. At our last meeting, Miss Swaby is not here, is she? Kamara asked a question, a really very relative question that I like. She wanted to know how many students from, or children, well, let me just say youth in general, from our community is accepted into the program, right? And that information is a little hard to come by because the way that DYCD gives out the information, they have an annual report, and it is not, I'm dropping that in the chat also. It just does kind of a, it'll do it by race, but it doesn't do it by communities. So if you look at the, report, you'll see how it's broken down. I think we're still trying to determine that, but that information probably is more internal and might require a little more to see if we can get the commissioner to maybe, give us that information from their end. The other thing I want to talk about is Summer Rising. So, Summer Rising started, I think it was during COVID, that it came about. And what it is, it's a partnership between New York City Public Schools and the Department of Youth and Community Development, right? It's not the same thing as the Summer Youth Program. Summer Youth Program is about jobs for our young folks, 14 to 24. Summer Rising is for kids kindergarten to 8th grade. And what it is a free program available to all New York City students in grades K to 8. And they have access to academic and enrichment program over the course of the day. It also includes field trips, art activities, and outdoor recreation. I'm going to drop that link also in the chat. You guys can share it with your families, friends, and other colleagues around it. It's always a full day in person, and it's planned and operated by school principals and community-based organizations. So like the activities part and stuff, you have CBOs that are on site that would do various activities with the kids, and then you have the academic component that, is done within the schools. Breakfast, lunch, and snacks are always served. So if you're interested in it, please visit the website and, pass the information along. Let me just get the link here for you. I have a lot of links tonight. Okay. Oh. Yeah. So, final thing I want to talk about, I don't know if you guys, you might have heard that last night. Well, before I say that, just want to also mention, I'm sorry, yes, was someone asking a question? Okay. There's this, it's called Register Today for the Youth-Led Emergency Preparedness Education Day event. And it's being held on April 14th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at SUNY Downstate. And it's going to be held during, next week is spring break. Yeah, happy for the kids. And it would focus on youth, specifically middle and high schoolers. It says hospital preparedness at SUNY Downstate is inviting our local middle and high school students to participate in our youth-led emergency preparedness education day. I am going to forward this to Ms. Farah and have her send it out to you. If it's something that you have a young person who fits into that age range, you would like them to attend, that they can go. It has registration deadline is this Friday. Food and refreshments will be provided. And, you know, they want us to share with students and families in the community. So I'm going to forward that to Ms. Farah and have her send it to you. Someone else also sent me another thing they wanted me to share. Oh, it's called Junction on Wheels. And this is from Ryan Chrisman. And he says he's working with the Flatbush Nostrand bid, which is the business district, on a repeat of the Junction on Wheels, where children learn to ride. Event take place on the 26th of April at Hilo Plaza. And you know, Hilo Plaza is at the junction right next door to the McDonald's and MCU Bank, that little plaza space in there. And if any of your members have some old bicycles that they would like to have recycled and donated, we are also running a bicycle drive that day. It's from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Saturday, this coming Saturday, between 10 to 12. I'm also going to get Ms. Farah to send you this email so you can see if any of your young people, or if you have a bicycle at your home that you would like to donate, that is no longer being used, or, you know, just go over. And if you have kids that you want to teach them to ride, feel free. Like, maybe I'll take my grandkids over there because my 5-year-old needs to learn to ride. So that might be a fun thing for her to do on Saturday if it's not raining. Okay, and that ends my report. Are there any questions? Any questions from anyone?
Ms. Grandison?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, please.
this is George. Yes, I received something from Ms. Flatbush Village. They're having something an Easter egg hunt on April 19th at the Palagat. Did you receive that one?
What is it? I'm sorry.
It's Easter egg hunt on April 19th at Palagat Park.
No, I did not. I heard someone mention that, but I think at the executive committee, but I didn't see any kind of flyer on it. So please give us the details of
Yeah,
that.
I'll forward it to you so you could maybe put it in the chat if you can. But I'll forward it to you in 5 minutes.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Thank you. And guys, please feel free, like if there are events coming up that you want to share, and I know I do this at the end, but if there's, you know, you want to send me an email with something to share out among, especially if it's an email and it's detailed, please feel free to do that. Also note that in the Community Board 17, newsletter, I'm sorry, that this information will also be posted in there. But what happens is that some of these events might pass before the newsletter go out, because the newsletter, I think it's scheduled to go out after each board meeting. Am I correct with that, Ms. Farah?
Yeah, the newsletter comes out the day after each general board meeting.
Right. So sometimes the information may not be relevant because of the dates. So it may not be in the newsletter, but I do encourage you also to please sign up for that newsletter. It's very informative. There's so much information in it, and it's like a wealth of information that people have been submitting of events happening in the community, especially now spring and summer is upon us. You know, you guys love get outdoors, do some stuff. bring the family and stuff like that. Okay, so that ends my report. So now I'm going to turn it over to Miss Bilal, who is going to speak on her organization, Bridging Access to Care. Ms. Bilal is the Community Development Specialist. She has been at a few of our meetings, so I thank her for being here tonight and to educate us on the resources that she has at her hand with her organization and how it can be helpful and impactful to us as a community. It's all yours, Ms. Bilal.
Thank you, Ms. Grandison. And thank you, everyone here, for your time. Always very happy to be a part of these meetings. So, again, my name is Amanda, and I am from Bridging Access to Care. I always like to say I have the best job in my agency because I get to go out in the community. I talk about who we are, what we do, and I form linkages and partnerships, and I get to smile and talk every day. It's a good job, the best job I have. So I will share my screen, and let me make sure this works because WebEx is a little odd for me. Hang on. Okay. Is everyone able to see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, so let me just put here. So Bridging Access to Care, we're a community-based organization, and we have been serving Brooklyn and the greater New York area since 1986. And one of the things that I love to lead with is that we at BAC, we are a trauma-informed agency. So we do not tell people what they should do. Our clients, we meet them where they are, and the hope is that we're able to give them this support as they need it, as they determine, and ultimately achieve whole wellness. So some of our programs, we have a mental health service. We have mental health services. We have an outpatient clinic in Williamsburg. What I love about our mental health clinic is we do have a children's wing, and we see youth ages 6 and up, and they have their own separate waiting area. So they are not sitting next to adults who may or may not be in crisis. And it's just a lovely space for children to be in. We also have a outpatient substance use clinic at 2261 Church Avenue. We have scattered site supportive housing. We have health homes care coordination, as well as community and school-based prevention education services that are offered. We have health educators that go into middle schools and high schools, and they deliver evidence-based interventions to youth and adolescents, and one-time presentations that may depend on the need of the school. So some schools, middle schools, have said, we need to have a presentation on cannabis use. Other schools have said vaping is an emerging issue, so we're able to create these presentations as they're needed. Now, tonight, I'm really excited to introduce, you guys met, Kathy Gay, and I want her, she's going to share about the TREE program and tell you about all the great things that we're doing in the community. So Kathy, take it away.
Good evening, all. I know that we're all here for the common cause, which is around youth and education. So I am a site director at Bridging Access to Care's Flatbush Gardens site, which is at 3301 Foster Avenue, corner of New York Avenue. And I have two programs, one where we service people that are coming out of the shelter system with vouchers, or people with other vouchers such as HASA or HPD. and mainly city FEP. So we service them, we do a warm handoff when they get their keys, and we wrap services around them if needed. My other program is called the TREAT program. It's the Treatment and Recovery Enhancement and Expansion Program. This program was designed to help young adults between the ages of 18 and 25 who may be facing some substance use challenges. It's not limited to substance use in the terms of how we know it. They could be smoking cigarettes, they could be vaping, as Amanda mentioned. That's pretty much on the rise amongst our young adults. And it could be alcohol, any type of substance. And like she said, we don't judge. We work from a person-centered perspective, meaning that they don't have to be sober to join the program. Another criteria for this program, they have to be facing some type of substance use challenges and at risk for homelessness or currently homeless. As we know, a lot of young adults in our communities are facing homelessness at alarming rates. This program was designed to address those. We have youth that are, LGBTQIA that may, their families may not be accepting and they wind up on the street and things like that. This particular program covers the 5 boroughs. We focus on East Flatbush and Flatbush areas in Brooklyn and East New York and other areas where there's a high incidence of substance use and homelessness. However, we do service the 5 boroughs. So now let's talk about what's really sets us apart from other people that provide the same or similar type of services. We do provide the substance use support. However, our one-on-one counseling looks a lot different. It's youth-centered. It is a person-centered approach, trauma-informed. And what we do is we wrap services around that young person, with that young person being totally the person that's involved. So what do young adults usually say? Anybody? Just tell me, what do they usually say when we're talking to them about adults? What do they say adults don't do? Anybody?
Don't
Listen.
listen.
Thank you. So because of that, we listen. So we have now, like, we're doing meet and greets, and we invite them to come and have pizza, play games, talk to us, and let us know what is needed in the community. So I'm going to strongly encourage that we get the information out to everyone with our flyers and things like that, because it's open to any young person and any parenting person. You might have a teen that you're in the home, or someone else that's going through it. Also, we provide testing for HIV and Hep C. We also provide referrals to mental health services. Like Amanda said, we have a wonderful mental health clinic, and I'm tried and true and tested that my 17-year-old granddaughter, I gave her a referral, and she doesn't miss a Monday, and she's 17 and a half. So if that doesn't say anything about that clinic, I don't know what else to say. But the clinic is very youth-centered and welcoming. And you don't have to wait that long for an appointment. We always hear people say, "Oh, I had to wait 3 weeks or a month to get an appointment." We also do referrals to primary care providers. And we work with other community-based organizations to provide these services. If we can't provide it, we're going to find a provider that can provide it, because we do a lot of community partnerships. And then let's talk about the good piece. The good piece is this TREAT program is the only program in New York City that provides a housing component to the program. So what does that look like? We would work with that person to get a 2010E for supportive housing eligibility. We will support that person on any vouchers or anything that they may have. We will support that person in maybe helping them find a job or going back to school, or any type of resource that will set this young person on their way to having a productive adulthood. We also have a 1-bedroom apartment that is located on Clarkson Avenue in the corner of Utica, and beautiful 1-bedroom apartment that if a young adult is in crisis, we will work with that person, work with their family. Sometimes we just need a little time away from each other, right? Sometimes adults need to be able to have that space, and sometimes a young person needs to have that space. And we provide that. We provide that for up to 14 days. And if need be, while we're wrapping services around this family or this young person, we will extend it for another 14 days. We cannot go past 28 days because if we're 30 days, we are what? We become a tenant, right? So we offer this 14 days and we revisit to see if they're eligible for the next 14 days. We do an intake process. The good news is that I just got a young person today. I just happened to go out into my lobby and I met a young person and I said, "So how's things at home?" And she said, "Oh my God, horrible. I'm dealing with domestic violence." I said, "Hey, I have the program for you." I said, do you smoke marijuana?" She said, "Yes, I do, but I'm working on it." I said, "Okay, so you're at the right place." She has an appointment to come in tomorrow. I talked to her about this respite apartment and the things that we offer. And the beauty of our intake process is that we try to do it in one visit, but it may take longer because we start where that young person is. We also give them a Target. I like to say Target. We give them a Target card or an Amazon card for the time that they spent in the intake. We also will give them Metro cards if they have to keep an appointment or they have to go somewhere. So I want to say that we do that as a respect for that young person sitting through an intake where there's a lot of questions that may feel intrusive at times. Now, I want to say that it may require 2 visits, it may require more. So I'm not going to stick too much on this side because we have different assessment tools that we choose. Depending on how willing the participant is, or if they have immediate.
I'm sorry, Miss Gay. One moment. Miss Judd, I think there's some background noise. Thank you. Go ahead, Miss Gay. You're on mute.
Okay, 1 second. It put me back on mute. I want to say if that young person is presenting with an immediate housing need, of course, that takes priority. So we're not going to talk to a young adult about going back to school if they're having issues with substance use. We're going to try to deal with those things first, right? We're not going to talk to a youth who's hungry about you must go to this program or you must go here. We're going to deal with the immediate needs first. And this is why I say it's a person-centered approach, right? We empower them because a lot of young people don't feel empowered in this day and age. So we work from that place. And then we do weekly individual and group counseling. We have groups, we have tobacco cessation, we have harm reduction, and we also have a housing group. So we form groups to talk and get the feedback and the input from that young adult themselves, right? So it's not our group. We just facilitate the group. We also do any in-house mental health referrals or any substance use treatment. If they need substance use treatment that's outpatient or if they need inpatient, those are the things that we work with them around. And when we work with them for about 6 months, we do a reassessment and they get another gift card at that point. I just want to talk just 1 more minute about what the services looks like. We will reach them by phone, email, text, in the street, at the park, down the block. if they're at a runaway homeless youth center, we'll meet them there. If they're in foster care, we'll meet them there. If it's a relative's house. So I want to say that this is not just a young person coming into the office. We meet them where they're at. And I just want to take this time to open it up. Does anyone have any questions for me?
So I want to ask, are you in any of our public schools? Do you offer your services within any of our schools, or do our schools, I would say mainly high schools, or do they utilize your services?
Well, I'm going to tell you that this program is about 18 months in. I just made a year into the program. And one of the strides that we're making is that we actually did a private Catholic high school last Friday where the kids were so receptive. And so one of my goals is to make those connections because we have our prevention department in schools, and I'm trying to make those connections right now. So if there's anything anybody can help us with, you can reach Amanda or myself. My information was on the screen, but if you get
I'm going
to
to add
Amanda,
it to the chat.
yes, if you get to Amanda, you can get to me. Someone had a question.
Mr. Morris, can you just ask your question?
Yeah. I was just asking if you offer services to pending dreamers or international students or young adults that
It
might
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
That's wonderful to
Immigration
hear.
status does not matter.
Thank you. Good to know.
Anyone else have? Is anybody as excited as I am about my little program? Because I sure am. Because we know that young adults right now are facing the hardest time. Okay, because back in our times, well, I'm dating myself, all we dreamed about was becoming 18, going away to school or getting a job and getting our own apartment. That is not realistic for most children today. To rent an apartment in Brooklyn, even a studio, is like $2,200.
Yes.
So we know that housing is a big deal for young people, right? We know that substance use is a big deal for young people. And we know that mental health is a big deal for young people. So I'm very excited to be able to bring this service into the community. And I'm not sure if people heard from the beginning, but I live in Community Board 17 myself, and I work 10 minutes away from where I live. So I go to work every day feeling good about being able to help people in my community. So we just appeal to everyone. If you know anyone, or if you want any more information about anything that we're doing, please reach out. And thank you for the time today.
Well, thank you.
I don't think you ever see my hand.
Mr. Tate, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, because my hands. Yes. A couple of questions. One is, and I don't know if you mentioned this and I missed it, but the age range. What's the youngest?
18 to 25. But I'm going to tell you something, Mr. George. I'm going to tell you something. We will start at a 17-year-old. Why? Because 17 is going to turn into 18 eventually, correct? So I wouldn't turn a young person away at the age of 17 or 17 and a half. I would begin working with that person in as much as we can to prepare them. So, but technically, the ages to be enrolled is 18 to 25.
Thank you. And my other question is regarding the apartment. When they're there for 14 days, what kind of supervision they have? And specifically, they have someone encouraging them to go to school while they are at that apartment?
Well, I'll put it to you this way. We have a youth counselor who is also a CASAC. So she's experiencing substance use. We have a coordinator who is experienced in substance use, who is about to get his MSW. So he will be official social worker in about a month or so. And then we have a housing specialist, a senior housing specialist, and we have myself as the project director. I'm a social worker. I've run programs for about 30 years now. So I want to say that we have a pretty decent team where we wrap services around, we visit, we talk to them, we check in on them. So it's not like they're just left to, just be themselves. There has to be a plan in place.
Yes, no, because I want to try to present this to, to the youth pastor at my church. So that's why I'm asking the questions, because I want to make sure, I understand exactly what I'm going to present to him.
So the respite apartment, let me tell you a little bit about the
Yeah.
respite apartment. I'll give you a scenario. You're my father. I'm smoking weed. You have asthma. And you told me the next time you come home and smoking in here and you start coughing and have to go to the emergency room, that I gotta go. That is when we would step in and we would work with the family around a plan. The plan could be just for that person to go into that apartment while we wrap other services around them. It doesn't mean that the person is going to be there forever, but it's a short-term answer to a crisis that could have gotten even worse than what it is, right? We know that family violence is very prevalent, and we know that things can escalate pretty quickly these days. So we would step in terms of a crisis intervention.
Okay, yeah, I understand. Basically, to de-escalate any possible issues that may come up. Mhm.
Or if they're on the
Okay,
street,
yeah, crisis intervention.
or if they're on the street, we want to get them off. Because a young
Okay,
person on the
thank you.
street is a very dangerous situation. We know that, right? We know that young people are being preyed on
Oh, yeah.
and trafficked.
Okay, yeah,
So I
thank you
hope I
very much.
answered
Ms.
your
Gates.
question. And if
Yeah.
you are involved with a church or any other community, we're more than willing to come out and talk about it more.
Okay, thank you very much.
I'm
And
just
Mr.
curious.
Tate,
I'm just curious. Who funds your program? How is it
This
funded?
program is funded by SAMHSA, which is a federal government agency. And luckily, prayerfully, I just came from a conference about 2 weeks ago. Our funding will not be affected.
Oh, okay.
okay.
Amen.
Glad to hear. Good.
Mr. Tate, I can forward you Ms. Bila's contact info, and Ms. Gate. Did you put your information in the chat also?
I think you did, right, Amanda?
I put Kathy's information in the chat.
Okay. So we have
And
Kathy's information in the
Ms.
chat.
Saunders, did you have a question as well?
Ms. Saunders?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I didn't know you. Okay, I think you answered my question already, but I have another one. So you're federally so you're a government agency.
No, we're a
we're a
community-based nonprofit
nonprofit.
agency. My program, the TREE program, is funded by SAMHSA, which is a federally funded program. I have 2 programs out of my site. One program is fully funded by the landlord of Flatbush Gardens. That landlord saw enough in Bridging Access to Care to put us there to support people coming out of the shelter system with vouchers. We support them, and we also support all of the community members.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ms. Gale, what does your program look like? Because I used to work at St. Vincent's Mental Health and Counseling, and I know therapists, social workers, counselors, they have different rooms, one-on-one. Is it group therapy, individual therapy? Is it different rooms with different people? How does it look? What does it look?
So you talking about from the mental health clinic, or you talking about my program?
Both.
Okay, so I'll talk a little bit about my program, and I'll let Amanda talk about the mental health clinic. So in my program, we have a beautiful space that the landlord has afforded us to no cost to the agency, because they felt so good about our program that they knew it would be very supportive. So we work in a very state-of-the-art, modern office space where they're, where we have rooms for them to meet in. And we also do a lot of events at the community center. We have yoga the first Saturdays and chair massage, and I brought African dance, and now we have art, and we do art. We do that every fourth Saturday. We do the dance workshop every third Saturday. The first Saturday we do yoga and chair massage, and then we're now introducing an anger management workshop. I don't want to say class, workshop. And we have all these wonderful events. So we do an array of things. The counseling can be on site for the young person, or we can go to their home and do the counseling, or we can go to their school, or wherever they feel safe. And Amanda, you want to talk about the mental health clinic?
Yes. So at 390 Berry Street, that's our Williamsburg site. We're located on the 3rd floor. So you do need to get buzzed into the building. And also when you get to the 3rd floor, you're buzzed in again. We do have security. So we do know that if you're in that space, you are a client. The children have a separate waiting area and accessible to staff and their clients. So no one can just randomly walk in that area. We have individual counseling rooms, and we also have therapy rooms, as well as 2 conference rooms where larger activities take place, whether it's meetings, group meetings, or art therapy presentations. It's wonderfully open space, but there is a lot of privacy. So you do not have to worry about someone walking by and just peeking into someone who's in the middle of a session. We are very mindful of maintaining a safe space. So, and if you are a client, again, your therapist comes out, they meet you, and you get escorted in. So it eliminates folks who may be unfamiliar, wandering around, and it's really about letting people know that this is a safe space and don't worry about feeling uncomfortable or unsafe.
Thank you for that visual description. So you're dealing with social workers, counselors, and psychiatrists?
Yes, and nurse practitioners, and
the nurse
also,
Yes.
not just social workers, but we also extend, a learning environment for social work interns, for community health workers. We take people out of a program where they're learning how to be a community health worker, and we give them an opportunity. So not only are we servicing the public, we're also trying to professionally develop and lend to bringing more people into the community that's committed to the work that we do.
We also have, and I did not mention, I'm going to blame it on the end of the day and lack of being under caffeinated. We have 2 mobile units. We have 2 mobile units that allow us to go into the community and offer free testing, as well as mental health screenings. And we are going to have an RN who's going to be working from our larger mobile unit. So where the need exists, we will go to the community. And that's also been helpful, I think, when we think about engaging on a larger scale.
Thank you.
So, do you take college students who are doing, for instance, social work in college? Do you take them during the summer as interns and things like that?
So
Absolutely, yeah.
that works in 2 ways, right? you have undergraduate and graduate interns.
Right.
And usually they are, we go through our HR department.
Okay.
So
To be
if
clear,
there's someone who needs that kind of connection, feel free, I'll add my email to chat. Feel free to reach out to me and I will directly connect them with HR,
Okay.
who then sees what their interest is, and where there is the need within the agency that would suit the desire, what this undergrad or graduate student is interested in. Some may be interested in mental health counseling, and some may really want to dive into substance use counseling.
Okay.
And so we're able to see where best they fit. You don't want to put someone where they have no interest. You want them to get
Right.
the learning experience. I know Kathy has, I don't want to say he's an intern anymore. I feel like Devin is a social worker. But
I have 2 social work interns if you want to think
yes,
about it. Yep.
Jerry. But
Okay.
because this is the area that Devin expressed interest, Kathy was really able to say, this is what your experience is going to look like.
Good.
And she was really able to help him hone
Okay.
in on his interest. And you can see it. He's
Right.
engaged.
And he's actually a young person, 21 years old. So he is very helpful to my tree program because I rely heavily, I have some grandkids that are like 17 and below, but I don't have any 21-year-olds in my life, but I got one now. So
Yeah.
he'll say, no, that's not the right word. No. So, to work with young adults, you have to speak the language. You have to know what
Exactly.
they're talking about.
Right.
My
Right.
educators and the people on this committee, you know what I'm talking about. You got to meet them where they are.
Okay.
That's right.
Well, I really
Any
would
other
want to follow up
questions?
on that. I want to follow up on that because my grandson, he's a junior now in college, and he was telling me that he needed some intern so that when he gets into his final year, he has something to work on.
I've put
Well,
my email in the chat.
okay.
Please feel free to reach out to me.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
Any other questions for these ladies? Anyone? I'm not seeing hands. Okay. So, ladies, I thank you so much. That was quite interesting. One of the things I was going to say, and I don't know if this is possible, and Mr. Daly might interrupt me or he may have something to say around this, but it would be really helpful. And if with the new Shirley Chisholm Center that is being built, especially that we could have services like yours. Somehow I don't know about space and how it works and all of that, like what they're going to do, but have this service, a service like this in that facility for young
Exactly.
people who do and walk in,
Miss
right?
Gail, I could give you an air hug because guess what? I'm already in conversation about that.
Okay.
Great minds think alike.
Yes. Okay,
So
that is great.
any support, any feedback, any ideas, please send it our way.
I will. I'm glad that we're on the same page with this. And as I said, I don't know what services they're going to have in there because I don't know for sure if the board has been in any talks around the kind of services or provisions that will be held at the center, even if it's like a weekend thing or Monday to Sunday, that sort of thing. But I think one of the things, and I would love to be in on this conversation if those kind of conversations are starting to happen so that CBOs like yours and some others are able to even if it may not be an office, but you still have a space there to, to offer to our young folks, if they walk in. Because as you said, you're still trying to be in schools, and sometimes, with our kids, like they don't want to see their peers. Oh, she's going to the mental health or to the abuse, substance abuse office or what, right? But they may feel more comfortable walking into a recreational center and,
Exactly.
hey, there's all these different organizations that can be helpful to them. So why I said this is because I actually went into the Major Owens Recreational Center on Bedford, and I was stunned. I've never been in there. It's the old armory that they've turned into all these their sports activities and stuff. I know my grandson was going to soccer there, and I was like, soccer there? We were like trying to figure out where's
BAC has discovered Major Owens, and we've done a few events there for
awesome.
the same program, and we were very successful. So yes.
Yeah. So
I thought about it. I said, oh God, Shirley Chisholm could be just like Major Owens.
Yes, that's what I was saying when I came out up in there, when I saw some of the offices and stuff. That's what made me said that. I was like, oh wow, Shirley Chisholm, like this recreational. I mean, I don't think it's big as the Armory, but still, having organizations in there that cater to our young folks, I would love it. So if Rudy's listening, yes, Gail wants to be in on that conversation when they're talking about organization, providing services from the center or having space in the center. I'm surprised he didn't say anything, but yes. Are there any other questions? Or...
I'm just ignoring you. I heard you.
Oh, you're just ignoring me.
But yes, just as usual, just remind me. Of course.
Yes, see, feel the love that's coming from him to me. Feel the love. He's ignoring me. Okay, so if there's no other questions, ladies, I thank you so much. I hope that this is not the last that we see of you, and that we do continue to have these conversations, collaborations, and partner in some form or fashion. I will love to see you also at Youth Happening to table. I'll send you more information on it. Definitely, Ms. Farah, could you please add them to our list of organizations that we have to invite?
Absolutely.
So that, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes. So thank you so much
for taking the time. And hopefully this is not our last time. And
let's not make it our last
I'll
time.
surely be checking in.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Join any of our meetings or come to any of our board meetings or next board meeting. You can also, if you come, you can bring some of your literature and stuff.
Oh, I've been a couple of times.
Okay, so you know the process.
I live in the neighborhood. I could walk there.
Okay,
so
there you go.
I have come, and if I can't come, I send my staff members.
Okay, awesome.
So I'll see you soon.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Good night, all.
Good night.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
So I wanted to get in, this was mentioned at our last meeting, the discussion around the USDOE. I know this is a heavy topic. Let's see, we have about 15 minutes. So I'm just going to do, I think we're going to have the bigger conversation at the next meeting. One thing, a couple of things I want to mention. I am thinking of doing a parent networking evening in May and the spelling bee in June. So for the parent networking meeting, I need 1 or 2 people to help plan it. If you are good at planning events and you want to do something like this, please. I'm working with Ms. Farah. We're going to start working on this on Friday. please let me know or reach out to Ms. Farah that you would love to be involved in this process. I still also need people for the planning of youth happening. I really, really, really would like, a few of our people to help work out the logistics and, bring some brain power to that. So please, please email me or call me. I'm going to put my number in the chat. I'm always available to speak. Anyone will tell you that. My number is there. Please give me a call so that I can add you to that committee. The more people I have, the better. Youth Happening is scheduled for August 7th. I will have Miss Judd. If you drop your because I don't think I have your information. If you can just drop your email in the chat, please. Miss Farah will take it and we will send out the flyers and the information again. I just we have some discretionary. Miss Farah, could you please make sure you get Miss Judd's contact info and send her a flyer? Actually, we're gonna send her a package around this. So we have some discretionary funds in the board office. I asked for about $5,000, and the majority of this money will go towards buying juice, water, snacks. DOE will provide like the burgers and some box lunches. We are in need of hot dogs. That is a hot commodity. I also need 1 or 2 people. I'm hoping to have 2 grills this year. So I need at least 2 people who are willing to man the grill for that day, or you can change out if you can't be there for the full day, part of the day. But we really need help. And I'm asking you to please, if you have the time, to volunteer your time to help us out. And the parent networking evening, more than likely, we'll probably do it in the board office. I'm going to reach out to the schools, the PTAs, to see if we can get some parents to come in. It might be a Saturday evening where it's more flexible for parents to attend, but I would like some thinking around that. And I would, like how we can have a discussion with parents. We want to hear from them what's happening with their kids in schools, what are their needs, what they think is lacking in our community in terms of our youth. So once again, I'm asking you, join us to help build and create this evening. It would be the first one that we're ever doing, and I would love to really see it well. There's an invitation from Walt Whitman. So Miss Watson from Walt Whitman, who's the community school director, had reached out to me and had told me that the school needed some resources and materials and stuff like that. So what I did, there was a group of CBOs that I know, and I put out a call to action, and I want to say the response was magnificent, right? A lot of folks responded for services and stuff that she needed, also providing certain things for the schools or what. So I was really happy around that with the response that we got. I can't say how grateful I was to all these CBOs and individuals who responded. And I mean, like the email went out and like within 15, 20 minutes, people were responding how they can help. And that's one of the things when I talk about collaboration that I really love to focus on and to get us there where we can collaborate with different CBOs or businesses in the community where they can, offer their services to our young people in schools or, transitional housing, whichever way we can. So one of the things, Ms. Watson, both her and her principal are trying to get a laundry room in their school because they do have kids in transitional housing, and they, some of the parents don't have access to laundry services, and also it's monetary in terms of going to a laundromat. She has stated that they had reached out to one of our elected officials, but they didn't get a response back. Those I guess talks around it was stalled. So I want to help them see if this is, feasible in any way. So what they have done is ask us to take a visit to their make a visit to their school. I am willing to do that. I know next week is spring break and school is out. Um, so it would more than likely be the week after. If anyone is interested in going, once again, please give me a call or send me an email. Of course, it would be during the day. Or it could be evening after school. We can work out those logistics, but the invite is open, as they say, with or committee members. So if you're interested, please let me know. If a date does come about, I will send the information out to the entire group. And if you can make it, or depending on your schedule, we will take it from there. Okay? So I am going to table this discussion with USDOE for the next meeting. What I'm going to do, because I did a lot of research, and I just want to be sure. I think the thing is that what I'm thinking around about this is in framing this discussion is that we kind of think if this does happen, so part of the statement on the executive order to return, because it says statement on President Trump's executive order to return power over education to states and local communities. So that catch me right away. And there's a part in it that says closing the department does not mean cutting off funds from those who depend on them. We will continue to support K-12 students, students with special needs, college student borrowers, and others who rely on essential programs. We're going to follow the law and eliminate the bureaucracy responsibly by working through Congress to ensure a lawful and orderly transition. Now, if this does happen, I think what I really want to focus on, and I think we've focused on, if this comes back to the state, what part do we as a community play? How
Exactly.
impactful can we be? I don't want us to have conversation on what Trump do or didn't do or whatever or what. I feel like we need to be prepared for if this happens, and how do we as those local communities, schools in our communities, what's the part that we play? What accountability do we now put on the state education departments to make sure that the level of education, academics, after school programs, whatever, funding is equally distributed, especially the funding part, to our students in our communities, right? How is this going to work? And I think the biggest piece about this is the funding, right?
Right.
It's the funding and how equitable it is to all the communities in the 5 boroughs, and we know that the money follows the child, right? That we know for sure. So I know that there are some schools have talked about their enrollment numbers dropped. Some have seen an increase, but one of the things we need to talk about funding, and we need to, figure out how do we want this to go, because now the state will have total control, no longer any federal involvement to that extent as it did
To a
before.
point.
But and we also want to make sure that that money does come to the state. So, or if Congress is playing a part in this, then we need to let our
Congress people know.
our congressperson really know where we stand and how we feel and what we expect. So just think about that. I'll send you some information that you can read up and look. And then we can have this discussion next month. I think we do have a guest speaker, but it probably wouldn't be this long. But I just wanted to put that out there. Okay. Any information that needs to be shared out that you have that you want to share with us? We
Yes.
have about 5 minutes. So
Yes.
if you do, go ahead, Ms. Saunders.
Yeah, I just got a call from Quality. Does anybody use Quality Cab Service on Avenue D? One of the dispatchers that's been there for years, and I have a relationship with Rita. She passed away, so I just wanted to share that with anybody else who
Oh,
uses.
I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm not familiar with Quality. I'm sorry. I'm a Uber Lyft girl. But I do know of them, and I know they've come in front of the board, for license approval and stuff. So please send our deepest condolences in regards to the family.
Thanks, Gail. Thanks for allowing me to share.
Yes.
Ms. Grandison,
Yes.
I sent the email, I forwarded the email to your Gmail account.
Okay.
The one from East Flatwood Village, I sent it to you on this phone.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank
In
you.
regards to education, there's a conference being held up in New York, up in Albany at the end of this month. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the Network of Youth Success.
Yes, yes.
I will be attending the conference. I'll be more than happy to share any information with the community board as well.
Oh, that's great. Okay, you go to that. Actually, I saw that in my mailbox today, from work. I know of them really well, but that would be great. Please, come back and share with us, what's happening upstate. Thank you, Ms. Judd.
You're welcome.
I saw there was, let's see, Yvette. Are you there? You said, I'm a school psychologist. What type of programs do you for high school? Was that to Yvette? Are you still there? Okay, maybe she can't hear me. I don't have a date yet for the parent meeting, but Friday when I meet with Miss Farrow, we'll make a decision on that. And you, of course, I will let you guys know. Anything else? Any good welfare? Anything else you want to share out? Okay. Hearing none. It is 8:58. Can I get a motion then to adjourn the meeting? Nobody wants to leave?
I motion to adjourn.
Your name,
Jabril
please.
Morris motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Mulene Mickle, I do beg to second that.
Thank you, Mr. Morris and Ms. Mickle. It is now 8:58, and the meeting of the Youth and Education Committee is officially adjourned. Thank you all for attending. Enjoy the rest of your week, and have a great weekend.
Okay.
Thanks.